Barking in Green, chapter 423. You can find us on the social media, all the meta social media, Twitter, now it's X, Birok 1913. We have TikTok, YouTube, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or any other application you listen to podcast. Press subscribe and you will be the first to receive indication about any chapter that's published. With me tonight, Prodner. Offer, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very happy to be here. Very excited about the game on Wednesday. I managed to, the loss is behind us, so I'm looking forward for the game that's going to come.
Okay, you want to take us from here and make us introduce with Eugene?
Yeah. So last week, if you remember, I told you how I was trying to find a Sheriff Tiraspol fan, but unfortunately I couldn't, and there was a funny mix-up, which you can listen in the other episode if you like to hear what happened. But we managed to find someone who actually has some connection to Israel. I want to introduce you to Eugene. Eugene, how are you?
Okay, thanks.
So, Eugene, you're from Tiraspol, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. And Eugene is a Sheriff Tiraspol fan ever since they were started in 1997. So let's, for the first question of the pod, tell us, how did you become a fan? How is it being a fan of Tiraspol? The perennial champions. And how is the football in Tiraspol is? In Haifa, everybody's crazy about Maccabi Haifa. There is also another team, Hapoel. They also have some fans. Some people say, maybe some people don't say they have fans. How is it in Tiraspol? Is it a one-team city? Is football big over there in Moldova? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
First of all, thanks for your invitation to this discussion. And I can say that in Tiraspol and Haifa cannot be compared in this point of view, because our people are not so expressive, are not so big fans in this sense. So it's the club is very young. It's only 26 years old, and it became much more popular when it had built their own stadium. The stadium was built by the company with the same name as the football club, which is the main sponsor of the club. And the stadium was built and finished in 2002, and it was a wow effect in the whole Moldova, because it was the first stadium like this in the whole country. And Chisinau did not have anything looking like this. So the team was increasing its popularity because of the new stadium, which was introduced in 2002. This is the key issue.
Okay.
In the developing of the supporting of the team in Tiraspol.
So can I say something? I know you said it cannot be compared, but I would say that, and Matan might not agree with me, that I think that the new stadium in Haifa also is a turning point, because it's bigger. And now, we couldn't bring, a lot of people before, but now we bring almost 30,000 people every game. So there is a small point of comparison, just a small.
It's hard to say, because different population and different mentality.
Yeah. So you're saying the fans are not too, because it's a young club, but are there any special traditions, like special songs, special culture, special things?
We have some. I can also say that during these 20 years, even the generation of the fans has changed. The fans from the early 2000s are already older than 40. So now already coming new fans who are younger than 20, 25. But still there are some fans who were supporting the team in the early 2000s.
Okay.
Still there, and they are already becoming famous. But I cannot say that it's hundreds of people. It's not even 50 people. It's less. So this sounds not very strong, but this is what we have. Also, a lot of people are moving to other countries, this means that there are no constant
organizations, fans.
organization. Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
People are changing, and the fans are also changing. So the fans community is not so strong as in your country. It's for sure.
I get it. But just out of curiosity, is football in Moldova big? You know, one of the most favorite players ever, foreign players of Maccabi Haifa, very loved, is Sergei Klashenko, who I guess you know.
Yes, sure.
And this is, you know, I think for a lot of Israelis, he was one of, at least Maccabi Haifa, he was one of the first, maybe few times that they heard about Moldav football. Is he a big name over there? I know he's the coach of the
yes. He's the coach of the national team. Yes, sure.
He's like very famous. He's known like you can't walk on the street.
Of course. He was playing a striker, so everybody who is involved in football in Moldova knows him well.
Okay, that's great. In Haifa, I think if we come to Haifa, we would also try to take photos with him. I want to take you back to last week. You know, we talked before. And I'm going to tell the audience that Eugene said that he believes that Maccabi, before the game, he said Maccabi would score 2 quick goals, and they're much better than Sherif. So how did you react to what happened on Wednesday? Were you surprised? And what do you think will happen in the game coming this Wednesday?
To be honest, I'm not a very big optimist, you know. So, first of all, I can say that I watched highlights of the match for the Super Cup, which was played in Summer.
Yeah.
So I was very much impressed, especially by midfield player Sherry.
Yeah.
So his playing was very impressive. So I was thinking that we have very poor chance if Maccabi will be playing like this, winning 3-1 after getting the first goal from Beitar. So I was thinking that we have poor chances, but you see, we had also not good chances playing with Real Madrid, and all the football world remembers what happened at Santiago Bernabeu almost 2 years ago. So I can say that this Wednesday, more or less, our team was lucky because of the goalkeeper. Of course, the goalkeeper was not the same, but still he did a great job because everybody could see that he made wonderful savings. Not 1, not 2, I think maybe at least 3. So, especially the strike from 2 or 3 meters, maybe 4 meters. It was perfect. The strike was perfect, but the goalkeeper was better. So it was fantastic save, and if he did not make this save, who knows what could be the score. So I think that Sherif was very lucky with the goalkeepers playing this Wednesday.
Do you think the game the match in Wednesday will seem the same, like Maccabi all the time possession with the ball and Sharif standing behind and try to make
counter-attack?
Yes, counter-attack.
They can try doing this, but Maccabi will be playing very strong. Everybody are sure about this. So they already had shown what they can do in the first match, and in the second match at the home stadium, they will make it, I can say, not even double. Their efforts will be 3 times more stronger, and will be very tough game for the guest team.
So
team.
Do you think we had a scout of the podcast scout, Nadav? He told us that in the first game, Sherif played. You also saw it, I think. The first game when Sherif played against the Romanian champions, they mostly in the away game they didn't attack too much. It seems like they kept it for the home match. Do you think that you can tell us more because you know the team? So in the away matches, Sheriff is more of a defensive team, and the home matches are more of attacking, because it didn't seem like this in the game. Maccabi had the better stats. They shot more shots towards the goal. They had more possession, as Natan said. And it seems like Sheriff was mostly content in staying behind and looking for the odd chance. But, Maccabi, when they play in Haifa, the fans are crazy. They have this song where you will hear it, where all the team and everybody is just like getting psyched up. It's the whole thing. And I don't think Sheriff would be very easy for them to stay behind. Do you know if the media is reporting over there? Do they plan something special for the game? Something that maybe, the coach is making a substitution? Or is it the same 11 that will open also in Haifa? Anything that the media is saying towards the game?
Everybody are considering the second game to be very tough, as I already said. But if we go back to the history, the old history and the newest history, nevertheless, the team was changing many times, but still, we know such fact that the best away, the best result in the Champions League and preliminaries to Champions League qualifications was in a away match in Montenegro, where Sheriff won 5-0. And I watched this match. It was incredible, but it was the proof of the power of the team in away matches. But it also was maybe some luck or maybe unluck for the home team in Montenegro. And also the story about Santiago Bernabeu, incredible match in 2021. It also was a away match, and few weeks later, the home match was 0-3. So the history shows that, and the newest example refers to Partizan Belgrade. Also, Sharif played not very good, lost the home match this February, and away match they won 3-1. Nevertheless, the first goal was scored by Partizan Belgrade. So we have some examples, but nobody can say how it will work on this coming Wednesday. So
okay.
You have to be optimistic, because your team is very strong and your fans are really crazy about supporting the team, especially at Summerhofer.
In the second leg against Farul, Badulu was great, maybe the best player on the field. In the first leg against Maccabi, Borodin, he decided that he will open on the bench, and Ademo will start in the starting lineup. Do you think Ademo will start also in the second legs against Maccabi in Haifa, or you think Badulu will come back to the starting lineup for this fast breaks?
I was looking at Badola during all match, especially at the time when the substitutes began, and I was thinking Badola will be the next to go on pitch, but it didn't happen. It was a surprise for spectators, for fans, but it was a decision of the coach. We don't know what he's thinking about. So Badola was very good in the match with the Romanian champion 1 week before a match with Maccabi, and who knows, maybe he was he had to have some rest after that match, so that's why he was on the bench. But finally, he did not appear. It was really surprising. And will he appear in Haifa? To be honest, I don't know. Hope yes.
Do you know any reports on the opening 11 for the match? Do you have any information from local media? No.
Okay. We don't have such reports because we don't have the culture of such reports. You see, in Romania, they practice these reports, but here in Moldova, unfortunately, no.
Oh, okay. And what about, I want to know, you talked about you were in a game in Montenegro and away games in Europe. Do you know if any fans are coming to Haifa to the game?
I think no, because it's very hard. It's not possible to do it by bus, of course. And the tickets are rather expensive, and the accommodation in Israel is expensive too. So I don't think any fans will go to Israel. And even if they go, at least 10 people, it will be nothing. But I remember when the 30 fans went to Madrid, it was possible to hear them. I'm very sorry that I wasn't there, and I was looking at the live broadcast, and I had our fans in Madrid, and I was really proud about this. In Tel Aviv, it's not possible because even if we imagine that 30 people come to Haifa, sorry, not Tel Aviv, even 30 people come to Haifa, it will be not possible to hear them because 30,000 of Israeli fans will make it so loud, so not possible to support the away team because the stadium will be 30,000 and supporting Haifa very strong. So
the game is sold out. I think last week on Thursday or Friday, right? But the game was sold out
very quickly. It was sold out
very quickly. So I wanted to ask you something. I don't know if you follow European basketball at all, but in Israel there is a basketball team that used to be the champion all the time, Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're quite famous in Europe, and Sheriff is kind of like this in Moldova, right?
Yes.
They always win the championship. So I was wondering, we always say there is the discussion between fans. Would you like to be like that, win all the championships? Or would you like to win some championships and other teams because it's better for the league? How do you feel, as a Tiraspol fan or other fans and you, is it good for the Moldovan football that there is one team that always win the championship, or it doesn't matter because you are a fan of Tiraspol and all you want to do is win the title? Is it like how is it in such a league that always one champion? Is it possible to grow any proper sport?
I can say that Sherif was the champion only 2 times, starting 2001. It was 2015 and 2011. It's only 2 seasons when the Sheriff was not becoming a champion. And this is the reality. This is what we have. Everybody knows, and everybody in Moldova knows that no other team has such facilities as our team. So this is the reality. So the team is the best because the facilities are the best. So they have the best stadium, they have the best training fields, they have even their 50 meters swimming pool in their disposal. The only one in Moldova.
The only one swimming pool in Moldova is in Tiraspol.
With 50 meters, yes.
Amazing! Wow.
Yeah, and it is 50 meters from the arena. It's all together.
I think in Israel we have also one Olympic swimming pool in Vinge.
No.
We have more than one?
Olympic,
yes.
University Tel Aviv. Olympic, 50 meters. Technion. Jerusalem, there is one.
Okay, so
there is one in Tel Aviv University. There are a few.
I didn't know.
But still, only one, and it's amazing. So before they built it, there was none because they were only built it like maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, right, Eugene?
Yes, it's the swimming pool. It's 15 years ago. We had a public swimming pool which is 25 meters. And it's maybe 45 years old, but it's 25 meters. It means a lot.
Amazing.
The Sheriff swimming pool is 50 meters, and it's quite new. It's, I can say it's 10 years old.
Amazing.
I have one question, Offer. How do you feel that you have in the starting 11 only one Moldovan that is only playing because your first striker is coming back from surgery. Yes, Luvanur is the only Moldovan. It's matter to you, or you say, I don't care if it's Moldovan or like Talal that is from Morocco?
I was expecting a question like this. This is, I can repeat my reply. This is also the reality, what we have. Because, Sherif has a football academy, and there are about few hundreds of boys who are training different ages, and few of them can reach the first team, but normally they are at the bench because the level is not the same as for the level of the foreign players. So we have some players, but they are on the bench. Besides Luvanor, there are at least 3 or 4 young players, Moldavian local players, and they are normally on the bench. And some of them can be proud that they were playing at Santiago Bernabeu and at San Siro. The former coach put them into the game in the last minutes, and at least 3 or even 4 Moldavian young players can be proud that they were playing for Sheriff in Champions League match. It's also okay. Why not? I think it's a dream for every boy who is playing football to play against Real Madrid at Santiago Bernabeu or against Inter Milan at San Siro.
But I want to ask you something, Eugene. I want to go back to a follow-up on Matan's question. For you personally, okay, and for Sheriff fans, are you more excited about a local player that's grown in the academy? Because we have the young players, I don't know if you know, but Israel played in the Mundialito and Euro under 21 just now. And they had young players. They reached the semi-final of the Mundialito, right? And the final of the Euro under 21. And all the country watched it.
No, both of them semi-final.
Semi-final, sorry. Both of them semi-final, I forgot, sorry. Final was before, the one before. So people were watching the games, and there is 2 young players. One of them is supposed to play, hopefully going from the bench against Sherif, Alan Khalaili, and he was playing in the young team. And people are very excited that a player that played in the youth team, they really like to see him. They're very excited when he comes and he scores. And
yeah, I understand.
Is there like a local pride in Tiraspol? If you one player goes and everybody likes him and he's like a loved player, like a symbol of the club or stuff like this?
Yeah, of course, the local fans could be proud about this, but we have what we have. What can I say?
Okay.
So maybe sometimes it will happen like this, but now we have what we have. So the majority of the team is consists of the foreign players, and nevertheless, the team has very good support. The local people like it so much because it's the name of the city. Normally, I have noticed that normally in the live broadcast, in television shows it not just FC Sheriff, but FC Sheriff Tiraspol. And this means that Tiraspol becomes much more known in the world. So we can be proud about this. Nevertheless, we don't have a lot of local players playing in the lineup. At least some of them are at the bench and they go for the substitute. At least this is okay too.
Okay. Sorry, I lost the connection for a second. Eugene, you're still with us?
Yes.
Perfect. So before Batu, so I was wondering, in Israel, we have good rivalries. We have against Maccabi Tel Aviv, who is a very good team. We have against Hapoel Be'er Sheva now for the last few years have been a very good team. We have the local derby. I don't think Tiraspol has another team in Tiraspol, right? Just Sheriff.
Now
Or is
yes, Sheriff. There was another team, but they got into the second league. They moved into the second league. Yeah.
Okay.
Normally all the time there were two teams, but the second team can be compared with Sheriff team. Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you about any rivalries that Sheriff has. I know that Zimbru Kishinev used to be the big team in Moldova before Sheriff came.
Yes.
So how was the rivalry between the two teams? Is it still something that, even after all these championships, is still something that is big or not anymore? How is it used to be? And do people miss it if it's not like it used to be?
I can say that it has to be big, of course. And it was very big 15 to 20 years ago. I remember most attended match in the history of Moldavian Championship was played at Tiraspol between Sheriff and Zimbru at 2003. The stadium was almost full. It was the attendance was more than 10,000. For today, it's fantastic for Moldova. Normally for the local match or Moldavian Championship Super League match, the attendance is less than 3,000. 5,000 is already seems great, and 10,000 is not possible in the current situation. And also, the derby between Zimbru and Sheriff was called Moldavian El Clásico, and local media still are using this comparison. Still are using this comparison with the El Clásico in Spain in Primera. So, but during the last few years, appeared another teams which were stronger than Zimbru, and so the El Clásico was at least a little bit losing its initial sense, but in the latest Super League edition, Zimbru became stronger, and after a few years in the lower levels of the table, they climbed back to the position number 3, and the games between Sheriff and Zimbru last season became returning to be tough. And as far as I remember, 2 games were finished with a draw, and only the third game, Sheriff won 2-0 at Chisinau. So I hope in the coming season, this El Clásico, Moldavian El Clásico, of course, will come back to its initial sense. So, and Sheriff Zimbru will be very interesting games, the most interesting in the championship, in the Super League of Moldova.
We'll be sure to follow the game. So we just want to ask you, because we asked all the things that... Matan, do you have another football-related question?
No, you can keep going.
So I wanted to ask, you told us, I don't know if it's that you have some connection to Israel, if you want to tell us about it or not, I don't know.
Well, I am a part of a Jewish community in Tiraspol because I'm not 100%, but my family is half Jewish, and my close relatives live in Israel, and sometimes I visit them. And I was in Israel a few times. The latest
Did you get to see a game?
Sorry?
Did you went to see a game here?
Yeah. So I was at the match in Beersheba a few years ago when Sheriff was first time playing against the Israeli team. It was Hapoel Beersheba, and the first match was played in Beersheba. And I'm proud that I was
right? 3-2.
3-2, yes, was a tough match for Sheriff because they got 3 11-meter kicks. It's very unusual. 3 11-meter kicks to the same team. And nevertheless, they managed to score twice. So it was very interesting for me to watch this game.
How did you like the Beersheba Stadium? We like it. We like it a lot, Trevor.
How it was making an impression of, how to say, not very much finished at that time, because maybe just the construction works, were recently finished, and but from the first point of from the first view, it was making the impression of, how to say, not very much finished, but it was a kind of architecture style, so this is okay. And maybe in such weather conditions, it's not very good to put expensive materials. Of course, this is the reason. But the atmosphere was great. The only thing was not very good, the weather. It was very, very hot. It was also middle of July, and it was the first qualification round, not the second like today. And the match was very impressive. And I was lucky to see the match and to see my family, part of my family, which is living in Israel. So for me, it was a happy trip.
How actually do you think Sharif will manage to play against the weather in Haifa?
I hope they will manage, because a lot of the players are coming from Africa. So I know, I hope they know how to play, and they have the skills to play in such conditions. But also a lot, it means a lot the humidity, because not all Africa is surrounded by sea or ocean. Some countries are in the middle, so they don't have such humidity as you have. So it will mean a lot. I think it could be better to make the kickoff 1 hour later, but of course it's not. It depends. It's only my opinion. It could be quite okay in such conditions in summer and in Israel to play at least at 9. But we'll see what will happen.
Yeah, I can tell you that when we sit in the stands in July, everybody comes home like they lost a lot of liquids. We're all sweaty. It's very, very humid, and the players also. It's crazy.
I can say that in September it's the same. From my experience, I was in July, and then sometimes later I was in Israel in September for Rosh Hashanah to celebrate with the family, and for me it doesn't. It's more or less the same.
Yeah, it doesn't have a big difference between in Israel between
that's a big difference. Yes, September or August or July, it's still very, very hot and very tough to move.
Yeah,
in 2009 we played against October from Kazakhstan, and they led 3-0 in Haifa, and from that point on they couldn't breathe. So we finally won 4-3.
Yeah, and our team also was playing against October.
Oh, everybody played against October.
We have a big history. Both of our teams have a big history. So there are not so much teams which were of the same level, which we did not play with. So, of course.
I wish you could have come and visit this time as well, Eugene. It would be great hosting you, drinking a beer before the game.
No. This time I cannot. I don't have such a plan because of the weather, and also because of some private reasons. So it's very tough to go to each match. Of course, I try to go to some away matches, but not to every match, because it's not possible due to some reasons. I can say I was at some matches, important matches too, but I can say that not all the matches, of course.
For sure. So we want to thank you very much for being with us, Eugene. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast. We hope that you have good luck with Sharif, apart from the game on Wednesday. we hope to win. But other than that, I hope that we win all the matches and go all the way to the Europa League this season. Thank you so much again.
Thank you to Eugene. Thank you, Offer. Thank you, the listeners, for listening, and keep tracking us after the game. Obviously, will be a new chapter.
Thanks for your invitation. For me, it was also a pleasure to take part in this discussion. Thank you so much. תודה רבה.
Thank you, Eugene.
תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה. ביי ביי, everybody.
ביי ביי.
ביי ביי, להתראות.